Now, in case you haven't already noticed, this isn't our RV. We're at a dealer lot, a Newmar dealer, looking at New Aires. This is the new 2018 Newmar. We happen to be in one of the only two floor plans, the 3341, 33 feet 10 inches long, is that right?
That is correct.
And that is about 9 feet shorter than our current motorhome. And we're here for two reasons. One is to see how much space there is on a rig that's 9 feet shorter than we're used to, especially for full-time purposes. And the other is to see if the quality is similar to what we're used to in our Mountain Aire. The New Aire is Newmar's foray into higher end, higher quality rigs, but in a shorter size. I think they finally realized that people who want a more luxurious rig might also want to go to national parks and national forests.
Right, and that's definitely something that we recommend to people when they ask how large of an RV should they get. We always say, get the smallest RV you think you can be comfortable in. So having the New Aire as a new option in the Newmar product line is great because it gives you that flexibility of having a shorter RV, but with the luxuries of a full-blown luxury coach. So
now we know there are a lot of people, personal friends of ours, who travel full-time in much smaller rigs than we have. Travel trailers, very small travel trailers. We don't have to have such a big rig, and it's not uncommon for us to feel a little maybe weird about recommending that people get the smallest rig they think they can be comfortable in when we're in a 43-footer.
But it has been a limitation to our travels, one that we knew we were getting into, but it has definitely inhibited our ability to get into smaller places. It takes more planning and more thought if we're going to do it, and more often than not, it's an impediment to doing it at all.
So we've decided that even though we're not necessarily in the immediate market for a new rig, we're always looking, we're always interested in knowing what's out here on the market, and this rig has piqued our interest because we love our Newmar, and it's something we've been talking about for a long time, which is downsizing without necessarily sacrificing a lot of the quality and features that we're used to. So one of the first big things we wanted to look at here was just what's the space utilization like? How well did Newmar make room for things that we as full-timers would need to carry with us in this shorter rig?
Now, again, all floor plans are different, and there will be variations as they hopefully add additional floor plans to the New Aire line.
So we wanted to get a feel for how spacious it feels inside. It's actually surprisingly large. They've done a good job of making it feel open. We have now a lot of open floor space that isn't actually usable, that we don't need. So it really comes down to how much storage space there is, and we are kind of surprised, like here in these cabinets here. These cabinets have very, very deep space back in here. This is so similar to what we have up in our living room and our 43-foot rig. And these sorts of places are so important, and this rig has more than we expected to see. One of the things that's a big deal when you're full-timing, of course, is basement storage. So we look down below and we see that it's actually incredible how much space there is compared to what we expected.
And one of the things that we really like about this coach is the way they've implemented the basement storage doors. Not only are they taller because this slide mechanism is changed from what we had in our 05, but they've got a suicide door arrangement here where the front door opens forward and the rear door opens backwards, so there's nothing in between you when you're getting into this storage compartment.
Take a look and see what you're talking about.
So this just opens up, and now you've got tons of storage space. So two of the things that we looked at in looking at this 33-foot floor plan, you've got two good size pass-through storage bays. This one's 3/4 depth, just like one we have. This is effectively the same size we have on our 43-foot coach. And then you've got a full pass-through side. They again have a 3/4 length tray on this one, but you can see how high the chassis rails are. You can actually stack a fair amount up on this tray, and how high the opening is. With this opening, this is really easy access. The slide is not that deep and it's high up, so you can get into whatever's in this tray without having to bend over too much. Very impressed with the amount of storage they've managed to fit in here.
We could immediately tell that the height inside the basement is much, much higher than we have now, and we could easily get a second set of bins to stack on top
Maybe not full height bins, but obviously another set stacked on top of the existing set, which means you're able to use a lot more of the space available.
We're here standing in the stairwell and the entrance steps, and I want to just give a quick idea of what we're talking about when we mean there's clever storage space. So go ahead and show what's underneath those steps. Down underneath each of the steps here is a nice deep storage compartment where you can put shoes.
We'd probably keep the whisk broom or something to keep the stairs clean.
Obviously these stairs are not that clean. This is just here on the lot. It hasn't been prepped. But both steps have very deep, large storage space underneath, and it's such a clever idea. You could put a lot of shoes down in there or other dirty items that you don't want to bring in the house. Obviously, we're not going to go into all the details of everything here. We'll show you a couple of features that we like. But again, the main things we were looking at were size utilization and how much space there was here and what the quality of things felt like. One of the biggest differences in this particular rig that we were looking for was, does stepping down in size mean that we're going to have flimsy cabinetry and flimsy materials in general?
And not to imply that Newmar's build quality on their entry-level coaches is quote-unquote flimsy, but obviously there are differences as you move up the product line, and our Mountain Aire of 05 was fairly high up the product line at the time.
And a lot of people talk about the fact that as rigs have gotten newer and time has progressed, that the materials in a lot of different brands have gotten less robust and less feeling of quality. So one of the things we were looking for here was, what do the cabinets look like and feel like when we knock on them and when you look at the heft of the wood that's used? These are full extension drawers that come all the way out, and the feel of them, again, is surprisingly so much like what we have on ours. Not only do things sound good when you open them, but the use of space, again, with full slide-out drawers and lots of cabinet space, lots of little cubbies. We have to say that the feeling here is so similar to our 05 Mountain Aire. We were very impressed at seeing this and being on this for the first time.
It definitely feels to me like a shrunk-down version of our Mountain Aire.
Now, another thing we're looking at are features. So there are a lot of things here that our rig doesn't have that are very cool and or very useful. For example, the glass dash. That is whiz-bang cool, and we've actually seen this lit up before. We don't have the key here. We can't do that here. Also, we're looking at the quality of the materials on the steering wheel, the dashboard, the switches themselves. So a big thing when you get into some rigs is you push switches and you get a feel for whether or not they seem cheap. These are the exact same switches that we have in our Mountain Aire. And so many times you hear people say, they don't make things as well as they used to, and manufacturers have been cutting back on quality of things to save money or to save weight. And we were really impressed that they use the exact identical switches that we have in our Mountain Aire from 2005, which are very high quality. I don't think we've ever had a switch fail before anywhere on our dash, and these are the same ones. Another detail we love that Newmar's paid attention to is USB ports. Just about every outlet in here has 2 USB ports along with 2 110 outlets. And besides the USB ports, just like you'd expect on a higher end rig, we have multiplex controls for our shades, lights, and other electronic features. 2 questions we answered for ourselves today. The quality that we have gotten used to with our Mountain Aire is still here, very impressive. And the other thing is, the size is not bad. That basement with that tall height where we could double stack storage containers down there, and it's wide open with the 2 slide trays, it's kind of amazing. It's hard to believe it's really in a 33-foot 10-inch rig. So we're hoping the New Aire is a successful product for Newmar, because right now, as we said, there's only 2 floor plans and 1 length. So what we'd love to see is, since so much of choosing an RV is about floor plan, we hope this is successful enough that Newmar expands the lineup into more floor plans and more lengths. We'd love to see some more choices in the 33 to 36 foot kind of range.
Which would open up options for things like a king-size bed, which is sort of important for us 6 foot tall people.
This is a great start, and
very impressed.
If somebody's considering one of these, we are not paid by Newmar in any way, shape, or form to tell you what we think of it. We came on board this rig today because we like our Newmar a lot. We've loved our Mountain Aire for 13 years, and if we do decide to change, it wouldn't be because the one we have is worn out. It would be because we want to downsize, and we're interested in knowing what kind of sacrifices we might have to make in quality and space to do that. So those are the two things we came here today to look at, and this first look was awfully good. Thanks so much for watching this extremely brief overview, and I apologize if it's a bit of a tease that we haven't gone through more of the rig to show you more, but hopefully we'll get a chance to do that in the future with a rig where the batteries are on and we can really walk through and demonstrate with good lighting the details of how this thing's put together.
If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, click that button.
And don't forget to turn on channel notifications so you'll hear each time we release a video. Also, if you haven't already checked us out on Patreon, we'd very much appreciate if you click the link down below and check us out and see the optional premium content we're offering as well as these regular YouTube videos. We want to give a special thanks to all of our patrons, especially our super supporters whose names are listed here in the credits. We can't thank you enough for being here with us and for making these videos possible. Until next time, safe travels.
And thanks for watching.